you know what a sideman is? A musician for hire, someone you can bring in that will blend in with the band. The sideman sometimes has a mysterious quality too, a certain sadness about him. And he's the subject of the university's latest show. Chris Bellinger is here from the university's Department of Theater and Dance to tell us more. Chris, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, this is a show that I have not seen. I'd never heard of it until whenever I was researching it a little bit for the interview. Tell us about it.
It is a show, it's a memory play about a young man named Clifford Glimmer who is narrating the kind of rise and fall of his parents' relationship that also coincides with kind of the fall of jazz, starting in the 50s with rock and roll taking over, and the play goes on until the mid 80s. It's a pretty sad story. We describe it as a dark comedy. It certainly has a lot of funny moments, but it's also very poignant and very, very sad. And Clifford is always kind of looking in on his parents' relationship, and finally decides that the family baggage is too much, and he has to go.
Wow, really? So he just he cuts ties.
He's trying to. I mean, we don't actually see in the play, he's talking about leaving the whole time, and at the end is planning on leaving, but we see how unsuccessful he is, though, over the course of the play at doing that, and how everybody is really unsuccessful at making the kind of life that they want. All the characters are wrapped up in this pursuit of whatever their ideal life is, and it doesn't always work out.
There you go. Now, you mentioned that the setting for the show, it spans 30 years, more or less.
Yeah.
And in the 50s would be the decline, more or less, of the big band sound, the jazz sound, the Lawrence Welk sound that people would be familiar with. And you get the Beatles and Elvis and stuff like that. And so this character is kind of, he's working his way through a transition in America's taste for entertainment. I'm assuming there's lots of great music in the show, but is it necessarily a musical, or? No,
it's not a musical. There is a lot of jazz in the show. It's Clifford's father, Gene, who is the side man. And so there's a lot of jazz. It specifically focuses a little on the music of Clifford Brown, whom the main character Clifford is named after. But we do hear a bunch of other. I don't even know all the.
Lots of music during that.
There's a lot of incidental music that is jazz. It focuses the big piece that it centers on is this Night in Tunisia and the recording of which Clifford Brown did a session the night before he died in a car crash.
Oh wow!
And it was a while before that recording. Somebody made a bootleg recording of it, and so that recording is in the show, and is one of the focal musical points of the show.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And mention very quickly for the folks at home, not necessarily a family show, right?
No, there's a lot of cursing, some drinking and smoking, but it's a fairly accurate portrayal of that era and that lifestyle.
Yes, sir. Well, you can catch Sideman October 15th through the 21st at the Marion Galloway Theater. For tickets and showtimes, call 205-348-3400. Learn more online at theater.ua.edu.